Hello and welcome to the Real Estate Regroup Show. I am your host, LJ Walker, a real estate investor helping you realize your dreams of owning a home or investing in one. Let's talk about the monumental move that both Jay Z and Beyonce just made in purchasing one of the most expensive properties in real estate known to date, particularly in the United States. Just in case many of you have not seen or heard, they bought a $200 million property that is 30,000 square feet in Malibu, California. Well, as the news hit, many people it stirred up some controversy that I didn't think it would. So I'm about to address this right here and right now. One of the things that was said was, why do two people need so much space? Here's the thing, guys. First of all, let us not forget that they do have children. That's number one. Number two, they probably will have other family members living there with them besides the kids. They probably will hire a nanny to take care of the kids, and she will probably be someone that they want 24/7. So she probably will be living there with them. They probably will also hire a maid, a butler, and security. Let's not forget the type of lifestyle that they have. They are in a vulnerable position if they were to quote unquote live in any property anywhere, right? So they probably want all of those people, again, to live on the property, not live somewhere else and commute. Okay? So that's probably why their house is so big. Okay? So that's tackling one of the first criticisms that I've seen. And also, the other thing I'd like to add is this. Yes, if you work hard for your money, it is nice, and I believe it's commendable, and I believe you should give your money to others. But you should also enjoy it as well. And I don't see anything wrong with treating yourself to something that you have worked hard for. And both Jay Z and Beyonce, from what I see, work very hard. The next thing is they do give money away. That's the other thing that I've noticed. Some people are like, well, they should have bought this or they should have bought that instead of, or they should have given their money to this organization or to that organization. Let me remind you guys that they give to 33 different charities. I'm not listing them all because that's just too much. All right. But I will say one of the charities is UNCF, which is the United Negro College Fund. Another charity I know is to Haiti to rebuild that particular island. As many of you know, they were hit with a lot of earthquakes a few years back. And not only that, it's a pretty impoverished nation, right? So they've also given to Black Lives Matter. Okay, that's another organization that they have actually contributed to that I'm pretty sure most of you are familiar with. And they've also given to a number of health organizations when it comes to tackling COVID-19 and all of COVID's other cousins. So in that respect, I don't think it is fair to criticize them as to say, well, they don't never give to anybody. No, these two have given a lot of money to many different people, many different charities. So it's not fair. Plus, when you think about the fact that both of them are business owners, and as business owners, you employ people, right? No, that's not charity, but they are, in a sense, stimulating the economy by having all these people that they do employ. You have the choreographer, you have the makeup artist, the hairstylist, um, their managers, their agents, and a plethora of other people that I probably am not too familiar with because I'm not in the music industry, right? And then they manage, I believe Jay Z manages other artists, or is involved with other artists. It's not just him. So because of this, yes, they're generating money. Yes, they're making money, but they also pay other people out. They're keeping other people employed, right? So again, if they have an extra $200 million after all is said and done, and they choose to buy themselves a house, I see absolutely nothing wrong with it. I also want to show, just mention this as well. The house originally was $295 million. They got it down to $200 million. What's the lesson in this? I've mentioned this before. You can negotiate whatever price you see. That's the asking price. That's not the price that it has to be. So many people are waiting for prices of homes to drop. You don't have to wait for the price of the home to drop. Negotiate for a lower price, which is what I'm pretty sure that's what they did, and they got it at a lower price, right? Okay. Another thing that, people have mentioned, and I can't push back on this too much, and that's global warming. And they feel as though they've made a mistake in spending so much for that particular location because it's on the beach. It is a waterfront property, right? Here's the thing. We don't know how long Jay Z and Beyonce are going to own that home. They may own it for a few years, turn around, sell it, and buy something else. After all, being that it is published and made public, they may not feel comfortable making it their forever home. Both of them individually, before they got married and then even after they were married, have purchased a number of properties. All of the properties, by the way, went up in value. So I don't think that they are necessarily ignorant when it comes to real estate and how it works. And being that they are friends with Obama, and Obama is heavily into protecting the environment and taking care of the environment, I'm pretty sure he must have said something to Jay Z at one point or the other regarding it. Yes, I've worked for the Environmental Protection Agency when I was younger, but I really don't know California that well to make even though I've been to California, I still don't know it well enough, the land that is, to make a comment as far as global warming and the environmental concerns that affect them, particularly Malibu. So I'm going to leave that alone for right now. And then the last matter at hand that I wanted to address, well, before I address that, I wanted to just make mention of this. When it comes to musicians, it's not necessarily easy for them to find a place to stay. You see, one of the places that Jay Z and Beyonce owned, or was trying to buy actually in New York, the condo board didn't want them in that building because they were afraid that once they moved in, that all the paparazzi would surround the building, making it difficult for any of them to go in and go out of their building and live in peace and be private, right? So to be quite honest with you, even though they have money like that, I wanted to just point out that it's not always easy to buy something that's less expensive. It's not necessarily, I mean, as far as a house is concerned, yes, you can buy a less expensive house, but as far as getting a condo or co-op, they're a little bit limited. And then also sometimes there's complaints about, these celebrities, they're, especially if they're musicians, they're loud, they throw wild parties, we're not going to be able to get sleep at night. That's what I hear. That's the word of on the street here in New York. Okay, so California may be the same thing. That's probably why instead of getting a condo or a co-op, maybe that's why they chose to buy a house. And that might be also why maybe they prefer a house, because this way they don't have to deal with disturbing other neighbors and other neighbors not liking them and not trusting them because of what it is that they do for a living. And also having to go through the boards and, because even if the bank approves you here in New York, the board has to approve you. And the board can reject you and tell you no, and you won't get what it is that you want. So I need to preference that, and I need to say that because I don't think a lot of people are aware of it. All right, now getting to the last point. So my last point is the following. So I've seen some realtors say things like, man, I wish they had called me so that I could get that commission. Here's the thing. So I looked into the background of the person who actually sold them the home. His name is Kurt Rappaport. He's a realtor. His father was an entertainment lawyer. So he already had that connection. As a matter of fact, he also sold a couple of homes to other celebrities. Now, not to throw shade, even if it is shade, but some of the realtors who are making these statements, number one, many of them are not even in California, let alone New York or Miami, right? Which are, I believe those are the other states in which both Beyonce and Jay Z either once had property and or still do. So if you're not even in the state that they want to live in, then why are you being, oh man, I wish it was me type of situation? If you wish it was you, then you should position yourself in those cities where you know celebrities are going to buy. All right? Because there are certain places that they pretty much have to live, like New York have to, California have to, many country singers have to be in Tennessee, right? They have to have a place there. Many people want to be in Florida, want to be in Georgia. If you're not in those states and you want that celebrity type of commission, then you need to move you need to position yourself physically in those particular states. That's number one. Number two, when I looked, I was kind of shocked. I was looking at statistics of, like how many black realtors there are. Out of all of the realtors, there's only 6. We only make up 6%. I was like, wow. Hold up. Rewind that. I'm not a realtor. I just know real estate. Okay. But that's something that may need to change as well. Then I looked at, realtors There is a site called Black Realtors where if you want to use one, and I put in Malibu and only 2 people showed up. I'm like, wow. Well, there you go. Because you do have some people that are like, well, why didn't they use a black realtor? Well, that might be why. The other thing is I did go to another site, and it did seem as though there's a few more that are experienced. There's many that are not, but when it comes to those who are experienced, that list goes down a little bit lower. So there were more black realtors on another particular site, but still it was just a small number. All right. Now, the next thing is this. Maybe, just maybe, before you criticize who they use to help them buy a home, maybe those realtors do not position themselves as far as getting in front of celebrities so that Jay Z and Beyonce know that they exist, right? Because let's be honest, a lot of times you'll do business with who's closest to you. They say, that you may write off your family and friends, but you might do business, let's say, with an acquaintance, with somebody you met at a conference or who's in your club or what have you, right? Well, if those realtors, particularly those that quote unquote wish they got that commission, you need to ask yourself, are you in the same clubs? Are you in the same circles that a Beyonce and Jay Z are in? And if the answer is no, then maybe you need to change your circle, or maybe you need to add another circle in your social climb, in your social network, in your business network. Okay, I mentioned that they give to 33 different charities. You may want to look at participating in those particular charities. Not necessarily donating money, even though I'm pretty sure that that would be welcoming. But a lot of times charities give dinners, they have functions, and sometimes these celebrities attend those particular functions. It may behoove you to go to one of those when they are there. Even when they're not there, it may still be a good idea to attend, because you might meet someone who makes the same amount, or if not more money, than Jay Z and Beyonce. Let's be honest, they are not the richest people in the world. There are people out there, many of them are not famous, but they make a lot of money. And they go to the same charities that both Beyonce and Jay Z donate to. Okay? Because they are not, people of that, on that level, who own businesses. A lot of times when you own a business, you're very busy. And you may not necessarily have time to search for every single, individual that participates in X, Y, and Z. Right? So you have to market yourself, if you will, so that they see you and that they know that you exist. Right? One organization I know, pinktie.org, they hold benefits, they hold balls out in Long Island. You got to attend it. Most of the people who are there have a family member that died from breast cancer. Many of the members of Pink Tie are basketball players and baseball players. right? Another thing is find out in your area, where are the celebrity hangout spots? And what you may want to do is take, I don't know, every quarter, go to those hangout spots. Sometimes you can find out where they're going to go, on different news outlets before they actually get there. I'll give you an example of what I mean. Okay, so here in New York City, right, we have a lot of celebrities. A lot of celebrities live here. A lot of celebrities visit here. I have seen in my neighborhood people like Puffy, who's dined at Chocolat Restaurant. I've been there. Yes, it's expensive, but it ain't that expensive, meaning $32 for dinner, right? So I'm not saying go there every weekend. I'm saying like every 4 months or even just every year. Just go there, sit down, have something to eat. Even if you don't meet Puffy, you might see somebody in that restaurant that makes Puffy kind of money or close to it, who is looking for a home, And one of the things that I notice when it comes to when you're at restaurants is instead of having the waiter or the waitress take a picture of you and your crew, let the table next to you take a picture of you. Get to talking to the people. You don't have to get into any deep conversation, but just a light conversation with the people next to you, in the table, behind you, whatever. Especially if you're feeling the vibe and they're feeling the vibe. And then you can hand out your little card and say, hey, if you or anybody you know is looking for a home, I'm a realtor. It's a light, innocent way to network. I've seen it done. Melba's is another place where a lot of celebrities go to, especially in the summertime. She has this band that plays in front of her restaurant, and people get up and they dance and they have fun and a good time. A lot of celebrities go there. A lot of celebrities hang out there. I'm fortunate enough where I can just walk over. But if you're in the New York area, again, you're a realtor, that's one of the spots to hit up. That's one of the spots to hand out your card, make a new friend. And there's plenty other restaurants out there. I know that there are clubs, different cities, what have you, where people go, where people with money flock to, So what you have to do as a realtor, this is just my advice, you may want to do that in order to broaden your horizons and get that check that you quote unquote wish you had, because it everything is really done through connection, and you got to put yourself out there. You have to position yourself. Everything is not done on social media as far as, I'm going to take out an ad, which I haven't really seen many, but I'm going to take out an ad on social media and then people will come running. Yeah, people may flock to you, but, some of you got to also look at who is your target market. Is your target market even Beyonce and Jay Z? Some of you are not even targeting people on that particular level. You're not in the luxury home market. You're selling homes for $250,000 as opposed to $200 million. So that's why you're never going to get it. So don't get mad at the person who does. when you're not positioned properly. So, anyway, guys, that's my thoughts on the whole Jay Z and Beyonce non-controversy that is becoming a controversy. Those are my 2 cents. I'm sticking to it. If you guys have any comments, feel free to, post them below on my YouTube channel. For those of you who are listening to the podcast, my YouTube is the Real Estate Regroup Show. You just do a search and you'll find it, or you can even type in New Urban Landlady. Okay, guys, so hopefully the information that I've shared will help you make some smart financial moves. Feel free to pass this amongst your friends. Remember, each one, reach one, teach one. Bye for now. Until next time, have a good night.